So now the question is it better to buy franchise or do it yourself when it comes to running the restaurant business? Well, let's have a look at the franchise. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Number one, franchise restaurants has a very strong brand awareness and you don't have to do anything about the brand. And secondly, they have everything standardized from the menu, operations, marketing, and pretty much everything about the restaurant is standardized. So you don't really have to do anything for this part. And number three, the franchise model will take more investment because they will use their own equipments, they will use their own style of decoration for the restaurants, and of course the company, the franchise owner, they will mark up a little bit on the equipments and the constructions or even the real estate or the rental fee. They will mark up a certain percent. That's why it's a little bit higher investment than do-it-yourself model. And of course the franchise fee is range from 5 to 10% of the total sales. It's not from the total net profit, yeah, it's from the sales. If you made $100,000 sales per month, then franchise fee will be $5,000 to $10,000. Simple as that. And number six, apart from that franchise fee, you have to contribute certain percent for the marketing, and that's range from 3 to 5% of your sales. And the franchise owner or the company, they will do everything for you when it comes to marketing and running the promotion campaign, etc. And number six, as a franchisee, your job is to find the location and to manage the people to run the restaurant. So only these two are the main jobs, and the rest is taken care by the franchise company. And number seven, when you buy the franchise, the very important thing is that you have to follow the policies and you have to follow the quality assurance test or quality assurance standard. If you fail to comply some policy or if you fail to pass quality assurance, then there will be some sort of fine or penalty imposed on you. So it's important because that's what makes the franchise model works. They have to keep everything intact and they will have to check the quality assurance for the restaurant standard operation every single month to make sure that this is being ran by the standard operating procedure that they set up for the franchise. Number eight, renovation will be mandatory every 3 to 5 years and they will let you renovate to a certain level to make sure that the environment ambient on restaurants is on trend to deliver the experience that customers want. Number nine, there is no guarantee for direct competition, and some people are not aware that franchise company has the rights to open the new restaurant right next to your restaurant, and this creates the direct competition, and franchise company has the right to do it. And if you think about the McDonald's or KFC, at some locations they have two restaurants located very near to each other. That's partly because there is a high demand, but at the same time it creates a direct competition for the franchisee. But the company has the right to do that. So you need to be aware of this condition when considering to buy the franchise. If your restaurant becomes very successful, the sales are great, then chances are that company open a new one right next to your restaurant. Number 10, you need approval for every single expansion that you want to do. For example, if you want to open a new branch, then you will have to get approval and everything must pass the franchising process. For example, for McDonald's, I hear that it takes at least 2 years to be able to run the restaurant. That includes the training for the entrepreneur, training for the staff, and construction and decoration and everything. So that usually takes 2 years. So this is about franchising. So let's talk about do it yourself and what are the challenges, what are the advantages that you have. First, I think the biggest challenge you will face is that you need to build a brand. You need to build everything from scratch. The brand or the name of the restaurant, the logo, everything is new to customers and it will be very difficult and very challenging for you to build a brand. And building brand takes time. This is very challenging task if you decide to do it yourself. Number two, you have to set everything from scratch, from product making process and operation procedure. So you have to do everything on your own. And if you're not up for that, then you might want to go for the franchise because everything will be systematic and everything will be standard. So that's the difference. Number three, you can save a lot of money doing it on your own because you put a lot of efforts into setting things up, a lot of efforts into shopping for the equipment that you need for the restaurants, and you can of course negotiate the construction fee, you can negotiate for the decoration fee, so you save a lot of money here. That's why you just need to put slightly lower investment for your own restaurants. Number four, you have to manage everything from A to Z, meaning that you have to do the product outsourcing, you have to do the raw material outsourcing, and you have to go find the supplier yourself, and you have to go find the chef who will develop your products, and you have to go find the construction agency that will do the construction for you, and you have to do everything for the restaurant. That will take a lot of effort in terms of human power, in terms of money and time for you. And number five, obviously you have to do the photo shooting of the menu. You have to do designing of the artwork, and you have to do everything that relates to marketing, from running promotion, producing the artworks, and whatnot. And number six, you've got the rights, you've got freedom to expand the business at as many locations as possible without having to acquire any approval from any party. And it's free for you to scale up the business and become successful. Number seven, product sourcing or raw material sourcing will be hard because you are running one restaurant and you are talking to the supplier that generates or that manufactures raw materials in a big lot. And for example, about the patties for the burger, they will produce it in a large scales. They will produce minimum 10,000 pieces, 100,000 pieces. So if you go and talk to them and negotiate the price, it's very unlikely that you will get the price that you prefer. But if you are with the franchise company, then they have the volume, they can negotiate the price down to cost that they want. So if you are running it on your own, it will be very difficult to negotiate with the suppliers. And some suppliers will even refuse to sell you the products because the volume that you're buying is very low and it is additional task for them to manage you as a vendor. So that's also challenging. Number eight, quality assurance will be challenging because you have to keep control, you have to keep an eye on everything about the quality. Foods, raw materials, product and services that your staff or your employees offer to the customers. You have to check and manage it regularly by yourself. On the other hand, if you are running the franchise restaurants, for the quality assurance, there will be people training your employees. There will be people checking your restaurant every single month to make sure that your staff or your employees are running the operation as per the standard operating procedures set by the company. If you're running on your own, you have to do everything by yourself. So now you know the advantages and disadvantages. So you can balance risks and reward between franchise and do-it-yourself model. So let's get into coming up with the brand and product concept for your new restaurant. So I'll see you in the next video.